Hey guys, quick tutorial on how to edit a newborn image straight into, or just straight in Lightroom. I'm going to hit the import button. You're going to look over here and find exactly where your file is. Let's see, might take some hunting. I believe it's in here. We're going to go down, drop down, and I've saved it here. We want this to import, and it clearly has the check mark. If you wanted an entire file full of images to load, they would all be shown here. You can make a second copy to a different area of your computer, which is great and highly recommended for backing up your images. You can add it to a specific collection, which I'm not going to do right now. I'm going to import it with no edits already so that I can walk you through my process, but just know that you could, if you wanted to import everything with a very specific preset, you could do that. Just for this purpose, I'm not going to do that yet. Definitely have your metadata up to date, and we're going to import. Excuse me. Okay, here we are. We're in the library module. I'm going to click on this and make it larger. This image is pretty much, well, this is completely straight out of camera. I really try to get my images as close to perfect in camera as I possibly can so that I don't have to take a bunch of time editing. So we're going to make this larger. Pull this out. So you can see here what we'll be doing is filling in some of this background. We're going to clean up her face some. Her arms are a little splotchy, so we'll clean that up. There's a little bit of stuff right here on the little bit of extra fuzz that we'll take care of. We're going to do most of this from Lightroom, and then we'll switch over and do some of it in some basic stuff in Photoshop. So we're going to hit Develop. All of the backdrop will be done in Photoshop. If you wanted to do it in Lightroom, you could probably figure it out. I used to do things like this in Lightroom and it would just take forever. So I taught myself Photoshop and now it's very quick. Here are all of my saved presets. I never use the Lightroom ones anymore, but they do, Lightroom comes with some presets that you can use. I really try not to rely on a preset, especially, I know a lot of people will want to sell them and you'll be tempted to buy them because their images look great with it, and then you get it onto your computer and your images look like garbage with it and you're not understanding why. I've been through this. I've done it over and over and over again in the beginning, and I'm going to be very honest. You should learn how to edit your images before you start purchasing presets. That way you have the knowledge behind the edit, and then use the preset just to tweak what you have already done. So these are actually the presets that I've created for myself. These are typical edits that I use all the time. We're going to do just a basic edit on this. I'm going to bump up the yellows just a little bit because I edit a little bit warmer than a lot of people, and I love to have a little bit of extra pink. We're going to bump up the exposure just a tad, and I love my contrast high. I keep it around 17. Yeah. You can obviously go less, make it a little softer and dreamier, or bring it in. I just love those. I love that deep contrast, especially in the shadows. We're going to actually add some of the shadow here. about 17. I don't know. I know a lot of people like even numbers. I like odd numbers, but you know, work with whatever you want to work with. Do it until you like it. I've got my clarity up to 10. We'll probably add that to 15 because I do like it to be nice and sharp. And you can see if you click on it, this is very sharp. This sweet girl had a sweet little stork bite. We will definitely leave that. I'm big on leaving anything that's going to stay with them for a little while. I'm big on leaving that. We'll just soften that red a little bit. The pink under her nose is also included in that little bit of a birthmark, so that will stay. It'll just get softened. But see, these eyelashes are nice and sharp. The lips are nice and sharp. She's just got a little bit of skin stuff we'll clean up. Let's see. So you can come down here into your colors. You can pull these either direction. I encourage you to just get in there and play. This baby is tinge red, so we're just going to pull a little bit out. Again, I really like pink babies, so we're just going to leave most of that. Let's see, we'll pull a little bit of magenta out as well, but again, just a tad, not much. Sharpening, again, I like a nice sharp image, but we're also going to add some of the illuminance and make it soft, a little bit of noise reduction. And that's just going to smooth her overall skin, just a tad. Okay, so here's another one of my secrets. We're going to come up here and grab this brush right here. I have all of these presets. This top panel is what comes with Lightroom. I have created all of these presets below, and I use these on almost every single image that I edit. So you'll see me use these often if you continue to follow. So I'm going to do a warm, sharp, and clear brush. I've created this on my own. It's got just a little bit of temp pulled into the yellows, a little bit more pink. It's got a little bit more exposure, some clarity, and some sharpness. And I'm going to get a nice, soft, wide brush and bring it from my light direction and just hit the top of her forehead and paint it down through the bottom of the drop. So I just take it from the light direction, from the top of her head, all the way down. And that creates a nice swoop of light. My light, while I shoot, is natural light, but I do face the baby in a direction with the top of their head tilted towards the light. So it's not that I'm adding anything really necessarily. I am simply enhancing the light direction, brushing just a little bit extra on. I'm going to come in here again and I'm going to grab my sharpness brush. This is actually a preset that comes with Lightroom, so everyone should have that. And I'm just going to sharpen her face just a tad. Again, I don't do a ton. You can see down here my density is only at 64. I've got my flow at 62. It's just a nice soft brush. I'm going to hit done. And this is actually everything that I'm going to do in Lightroom. I'll be pulling the image into Photoshop next, but I want to show you how far we've come. So there's the imported picture. Here's where we are. Let's see, did it do it? Let's do the before and after. The library, we're going to do before and after. Oh, come on, let's see. See, I'm not doing it right. Okay. There we go. Before, after. After is definitely a little bit warmer, less green, a little softer, a little more clarity all around. Deeper contrast, definitely up here in this headband where you can see it really well. Ooh, yeah. We're going to pull this into Photoshop. I'm going to do Photo, Edit in, Photoshop, and it's going to bridge straight across. Here we are. Okay, now in Photoshop, I have loaded actions that we will use quite a bit of. And as we walk through this image, I will tell you exactly who they came from, hopefully, as long as I can remember. Okay, guys, I'm going to click over to the next video.